Christopher Columbus was born in Genoa, Italy in 1451. Genoa was a bustling port city, and from a young age, Columbus was drawn to the sea. He went to sea as a teenager, learning the ways of ships and navigation. Columbus was ambitious and dreamed of sailing to the East Indies, seeking riches and glory. Columbus was also a student of geography and map-making. He studied the works of ancient scholars like Ptolemy, who believed the world was round. Columbus became convinced that he could reach the East by sailing west across the Atlantic Ocean. Columbus's idea was radical and controversial. At a time when the world was shrouded in mystery and misconceptions, proposing a westward voyage to reach the East was nothing short of revolutionary. Columbus faced a world where the prevailing belief was that the Earth was flat, and sailing westward was considered a perilous endeavor that could lead to falling off the edge of the world. Most people at the time believed the Earth was flat, or that the journey west would be too long and dangerous. The maps of the era were incomplete and filled with speculative geography, reflecting the limited knowledge of the world beyond Europe and the Mediterranean. The fear of the unknown was palpable, and many thought that the seas were inhabited by monstrous creatures and insurmountable obstacles. Columbus spent years seeking funding for his voyage, facing rejection from the Portuguese and English courts. His persistence was unwavering, despite the numerous setbacks and the skepticism he encountered. He traveled from court to court, presenting his ambitious plan to monarchs and nobles, only to be met with doubt and refusal. The financial and logistical challenges seemed insurmountable, but Columbus's determination never wavered. Finally, in 1492, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain agreed to sponsor his expedition. Their decision was driven by a mix of curiosity, ambition, and the desire to expand their influence and wealth. The Spanish monarchs saw the potential for new trade routes and the promise of untold riches, and they were willing to take the risk on Columbus's bold proposal. With royal support, Columbus assembled 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. These vessels, though modest in size, were outfitted for the long and uncertain journey ahead. The preparation involved gathering supplies, recruiting a crew, and ensuring that the ships were seaworthy. Each ship had its own unique characteristics, and together they formed a small but determined fleet ready to face the unknown. The ships were small and cramped, and the journey ahead was fraught with uncertainty. The crew had to endure harsh conditions, limited space, and the constant threat of the unknown. The voyage was not just a test of navigation, but also a test of human endurance and spirit. The sailors faced the vast, uncharted ocean with a mix of hope and trepidation, knowing that their fate was uncertain. On August 3, 1492, Columbus and his crew set sail from Palos de la Frontera, Spain, into the vast unknown. The departure marked the beginning of a historic journey that would change the course of history. As the ships disappeared over the horizon, they carried with them the hopes and dreams of a new era of exploration and discovery. The voyage was a leap of faith into the uncharted waters of the Atlantic, driven by the desire to uncover the mysteries of the world. The voyage across the Atlantic was long and arduous. The sailors faced storms, hunger, and disease. Morale was low, and some crew members wanted to turn back. Columbus, however, remained steadfast in his belief that they would reach land. He kept a detailed log of their journey, recording their position and the challenges they encountered. After more than 2 months at sea, on October 12, 1492, a lookout on the Pinta spotted land. They had reached an island in the Bahamas, which Columbus named San Salvador. This momentous event marked the beginning of European exploration and colonization of the Americas. Columbus was greeted by the native inhabitants of the island, the Taino people. The Taino were a peaceful and welcoming people who lived in villages and cultivated crops. Columbus described them as gentle and generous, noting their lack of weapons and their willingness to trade with the newcomers. Columbus claimed the island for Spain and explored the surrounding waters, believing he had reached the East Indies. He encountered other islands and native peoples, including the Arawak and the Carib. He established a small colony on the island of Hispaniola, present-day Haiti, and the Dominican Republic, and returned to Spain a hero. Section 5. The voyages continue, expanding the Spanish Empire. Columbus made 3 more voyages to the New World, exploring more of the Caribbean and Central America. He established colonies, searched for gold and other riches, and sought to convert the native peoples to Christianity. However, his later voyages were marked by increasing violence and exploitation of the indigenous populations. Columbus's discoveries had a profound impact on Europe. They opened up a new world of possibilities and led to a wave of exploration, conquest, and colonization. Spain became a dominant power, amassing wealth and territory in the Americas. Section 6. A complex legacy, hero or villain. Christopher Columbus is a controversial figure in history. He is celebrated for his courage, determination, and role in opening up the Americas to Europe. However, he is also condemned for his treatment of indigenous peoples, his role in the transatlantic slave trade, and the devastating consequences of European colonialism. Columbus's arrival in the Americas had a catastrophic impact on the native populations. European diseases, forced labor, and warfare decimated indigenous communities. Columbus himself enslaved and brutalized native peoples in his quest for gold and power. Section 7. The enduring impact of Columbus's voyages. Despite the controversy surrounding his legacy, there is no denying the significance of Columbus's voyages. They marked a turning point in history, connecting the Eastern and Western hemispheres and leading to a global exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures. The Columbian Exchange, as it is known, had a profound impact on both the Old World and the New World. It brought new crops, animals, and technologies to Europe, while also introducing diseases and leading to the exploitation of resources and people in the Americas. Section 8. Columbus's place in history, a modern perspective. Today, Columbus's legacy is viewed with a more critical and nuanced perspective. No longer is he seen solely as the heroic explorer who discovered the New World. Instead, historians and the public alike are re-evaluating his impact, considering both the positive and negative consequences of his voyages. This shift in perspective is part of a broader movement to understand history in a more balanced and inclusive way. While his achievements in navigation and exploration are acknowledged, his role in the exploitation and suffering of indigenous peoples is not ignored. The arrival of Columbus in the Americas marked the beginning of a period of significant upheaval for native populations, leading to widespread disease, displacement, and violence. This darker side of his legacy is now being brought to light, prompting a re-examination of his place in history. Many cities and countries have replaced Columbus Day celebrations with Indigenous Peoples Day, recognizing the importance of honoring the history and cultures of native peoples. This change reflects a growing awareness and respect for the contributions and experiences of indigenous communities. It is a step towards acknowledging the full scope of history, including the often overlooked or marginalized voices. The story of Columbus is a reminder of the complexities of history and the importance of understanding the past from multiple perspectives. It challenges us to look beyond the simplified narratives and to appreciate the diverse experiences and viewpoints that make up our shared history. By doing so, we can gain a deeper and more accurate understanding of the events that have shaped our world. It is a story of exploration, discovery, conquest, and tragedy, and it continues to shape our understanding of the world today. The legacy of Columbus is a testament to the enduring impact of historical events and the ongoing process of re-evaluating and reinterpreting our past. As we continue to learn and grow, we must strive to honor all aspects of history, recognizing both the achievements and the suffering that have brought us to where we are today. Section 9. Conclusion lessons from the age of exploration. Columbus's voyages were a pivotal moment in human history, marking the beginning of a new era of exploration and globalization. His journeys across the Atlantic Ocean opened up new worlds to European powers, leading to an unprecedented exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures. This period, known as the Age of Exploration, reshaped the world in ways that are still felt today. The encounters between Europeans and the indigenous peoples of the Americas were complex and often fraught with conflict. But they also led to significant cultural exchanges that have enriched human civilization. His story is one of both triumph and tragedy, and it serves as a reminder of the importance of understanding the past in all its complexity. Columbus's voyages brought great wealth and power to European nations, but they also brought suffering and displacement to the indigenous peoples of the Americas. The age of exploration was a time of great discovery, but it was also a time of great exploitation. By studying this period, we can learn valuable lessons about the consequences of our actions and the importance of empathy and respect for all cultures. As we grapple with the legacies of colonialism and strive for a more just and equitable world, it is essential to remember the lessons of the age of exploration. The encounters between different cultures during this period were often marked by violence and domination, but they also led to the blending of traditions and the creation of new hybrid cultures. Today we must acknowledge the injustices of the past and work to address their lasting impacts. This means not only recognizing the harm that was done, but also celebrating the resilience and contributions of those who were affected. We must learn from the mistakes of the past, understanding that the drive for exploration and expansion often came at a great human cost. By reflecting on these historical events, we can better appreciate the need for ethical considerations in our actions today. The age of exploration teaches us that progress should not come at the expense of others, and that true advancement is achieved through mutual respect and cooperation. Celebrate the resilience and contributions of indigenous peoples who have maintained their cultures and traditions despite centuries of oppression and marginalization. Their stories are a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the importance of preserving cultural heritage. By honoring their contributions, we can foster a greater appreciation for the diversity of human experience and promote a more inclusive and equitable society, and work towards a future where all cultures and communities are respected and valued. The age of exploration reminds us that our world is interconnected and that our actions have far-reaching consequences. By embracing diversity and promoting understanding, we can build a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Let us take these lessons to heart as we navigate the challenges of the present and work towards a brighter, more inclusive future for all.